Today I'm going to explain one topic. Let's start. Okay, I have a question. Why do leaves fall in autumn? Okay, make a pause and think about it. Why leaves fall down? Last lesson we talked about why leaves are falling down, what kind of process they have, and let's think about it. Okay, after your think, after your answer, let's. Today's our topic is photoperiodism because it's related, uh, falling leaves related to the falling falling leaves are related to the photoperiodism also. Okay, photo it means light, periodism periods normally. It means when the sunlight or daylight periodism occur in the daily life of a plant. Okay, as you see in this picture, this photoperiodism, short day plants, long day plants. We have three types of plants normally, and some different plants, daylight affects differently. Night length and the day length also very important. We will pass after um, after 5 minutes. Maybe we will start explaining the types of the plants. And now let's turn to our aim. Today our aim is explain the influence of light on the developments of plants. The first our aim. The second aim is describe the role of photoperiodism in plants. The influence because why the all plants need the light we have to know, and how the light affects the plants for the other process, main process uh, like flowering, for example, like giving fruits, like giving seeds and reproduction. We have to know. And the second, describe the role of photoperiodism in plants. After knowing the first aim, why we need light, the second one will be easier. Describe how and why we need photoperiodism, yes, in plants, because the role of photoperiodism is very important. The daylight length and the night light length is very important. Okay. Key terms. Photoperiodism is the response of an organism to seasonal change in day length. For example, we have different day length. In the summer, we have, let's say, 14, 16, or 18 hours daylight, and in winter, we can have, let's say, maybe 10 or 8 hours the day length. It's also that in the winter there is uh, no plants are photosynthesizing because the freezing the temperature um, is not give the chance to photosynthesize, as you know. Okay, but in summer all plants can photosynthesize easily because temperature is uh, more than 20 Celsius, and other plants can easily photosynthesize, and their enzymes can work easily. Okay, the new terms: bean, bloom, carnation, cotton, crucial, internodes, mustard, pear, relative, require, deal, duration, store, subsequent. We have to know that. We can look from the book, dear friends, and they are written there. Okay, about light. Plants use light as a source of energy for photosynthesis. As you know, when sunlight comes, why we need the light? Because plants they make photosynthesis, and after photosynthesis they have making new molecules like carbohydrate. Carbs produced as a food. By the way, they can also produce other molecules like proteins and lipids. Okay, light duration is important for plants. For example, in the winter, the light is lower than the dark. In the summer and spring, light is more than dark, and it's very useful, yes, for the plants. But some plants don't like light. Most of the plants like light, the long uh, daylight, but some plants can also like dark. Yes, they can flower in the dark. Yeah? But also they need light, 6 hours or 8 hours or 10 hours. Okay. Numbers of number of hours of daylight per day directly affect the flowering. As you see in the picture, flowers produce seeds and play a big role in their reproduction. Because if there is no flowering, there is no fruits. If there is no fruits, there is no seeds. If there is no seeds, there is no reproduction. There is no continuing the new generation of a plant. And this is because that it's very important that uh, flowers are the first step to reproduction, and the light have a big role in it. Okay, photoperiod and photoperiodism. The relative length of a day and night is called photoperiod. Um, photoperiod. Photo it means light, and period is period time. The time of the light. The relative length of the day and night is called photoperiod. For example, the daylight is more than dark light is, or uh, dark light is more than daylight can be more bigger, have more hours. For example, 10 hours. If the 20 we have 24 hours, if it do 10 hours, this one will be 14 hours. Okay, photoperiodism affects seed and fruit production, as we mentioned before. Okay, there are three groups of plants: short day plants, uh, short day plants. Then we have long day plants, and we have neutral day plants. Okay, the first one is they bloom. Bloom is making flower for flowering. They bloom when days are shorter. They need usually 8 or 10 hours of daylight and 14, 16 hours of a continuous dark for flowering. As you see, continuous, продолжительный, without any stop. The darkness must be, because if you put the light in during this period, they will not also flower. Example, rice cactus. For example, the cactus like 8-10 hours daylight, and after that they will flower. Sometimes, as you know, in the winter, the cactus can give easily flower. It means that they really like 8-10 hours of daylight. Um, some cactus can also give in different seasons, but I saw that some cactus give the flowers or flower in winter, yes, but in the building or in at home, of course. Okay, it's very important because the pigments act on this hours. They can detect this daylight length. Okay, the next one, this picture shows how daylight affects the plant flowering. For example, this is dark. This was the short day plant. They have long night, for example. As you see in the picture, can we show in a picture like this? This is the picture of this. Look, light is 18 hours, let's say, dark is more. And this is short day plants, yes? The next one is long day plants. Long day plants bloom when days are longer. They need usually 14, 16 hours of daylight from 24 hours for flowering. If they will not have this 14, 16 hours of daylight, they won't give any flowers. For example, dill, spinach, etc. This is the dill, yes, ukrop. Let's say long day plants, see in the picture, long day plants, they have like this light more than a dark, 10 or 14, 16 hours they must have, and then they will give a flower. But this was the short day plants, they have light uh, 8 or 10 hours and other darkness. They will give flower, yeah, as you see in the picture. The next one is neutral day plants. Neutral day plants, day length is not important for them. They require or need between 24 hours of daylight, yeah, from 24 hours for flowering. It doesn't matter how much they have. If they minimum have 5 hours of a daylight, it's enough. They will flower. It's tomatoes, sunflower, and pea plants. Most of the plants that we have in a garden are neutral day plants because they give flowers, yes, and they easily can then give fruits and seeds. Neutral day plants, I think it's very easy to bring up these neutral day plants than others. Okay, if this condition will not shown for them, they will not give any flowers. For the long day plants, for example, 14, 16 hours, yeah? Or for the short day plants, for example, 8, 10 hours of daylight. If they will not present, they won't give any flowers. But if we have, for example, if they have 8, 10 hours of daylight, they must have, of course, 14, 16 hours of a dark. And if in the dark you just put some light, they will not give flowers. Okay, it's very important. Okay, the lab question answer these questions also. How or what for what scientists and florists use photoperiodism? Yes, why they use. The second, describe and explain the types of plants in your area. Is it possible to grow a plant without sunlight? Is it possible to grow a plant without sunlight? It's a very important question. Describe and explain the types of plants in your area. All right, dear students, thank you. Let's see you next lesson.